without a job and looked in the Sunday Times, and he says, oh, gee, they're giving license exams for chemistry teachers. And my mother, the perennial pessimist, said, well, what do you know about teaching? And he, who was very vain about himself, he says, what do you mean, what do I know about teaching? I bet you I'll take the exam and I'll get the job. I'll get a job teaching temporarily. So he took the exam on Monday and got a telegram on Tuesday to report for work on Wednesday, and took the temporary job that lasted 49 and a half years. And it was really the place that he belonged. He was a perfect, teaching was for him, well, because he was voted most popular teacher year in and year out. And people who I've met through the years to this very day rave about him. And he, many times, I remember getting a letter from Albany, from the Board of Regents, saying that his students scored the highest in the state of New York. He was a very good teacher. It really was. It was an accident, but it was to his advantage. He loved it, and he retired. It was forced retirement at the age of 70 in New York City in those days. Today, you can teach much later. He was destroyed.
There was a new president for Tilden, and his name was Lefkowitz, and he was a real fighter. He was out to do everybody and anybody. He was the justice overall. And one day he came up to our GO meeting, and he was very, very upset because of all the people, there was going to be an election for a president of the GO. That was the whole school. And one boy was running, and nobody ran against him because he was president of the Communist Party at school. It was open. There was no question about it that this was the Communist Party. They had a lot of influence. They had a lot of members that were with the party and also at school. And Lefkowitz, convinced me, well, he convinced everybody over there that somebody got to run against him. So I said, well, I'll do it. I'll run against him. And everyone said, you're crazy because this guy's going to win. I said, okay, fine. So he'll win, and I don't care because we cannot have an election of one person. It isn't fair. Somebody else has to vote. And so I ran for president that year. I remember I made a speech. It wasn't so great. His speech got a lot more applause. He was advocating an awful lot of things that I would never even think of. But he won. It wasn't even close. But I ran for president.